way of the Most High. Om Shabbat Shalom, I sense your presence. Om Shabbat Shalom, Holy way of the Most High. Om Shabbat Shalom, I sense your presence. I sense your presence.
Hello, beautiful people. Shabbat Shalom. It is a lovely day here, sort of by the meeting place of heaven and earth. I'm a little bit south of Mount Shasta today at Castle Crags State Park. God and Goddess, thank you so much for the beautiful weather today, the warm sun that gives us not just the warmth, but also nutrients and spiritual illumination. Thank you so much for the birds that are chirping away and all of this amazing nature that we are about to explore. Thank you so much for vegan friends and the ability to hang out and the resources to be able to drive around with the crazy prices of gas. Thank you so much for all of it and the beautiful views that we are going to have today. Please keep us all safe and show us the way to accomplish our soul's mission. Help us to be loving and kind as we plant seeds of truth so that we can help enlighten others, lifting ourselves and others up the golden ladder and creating a Garden of Eden paradise all around us. Please help us have discernment and help us to be unifying and loving in all that we do. In the name of Elohim I pray, Amen. Today on the Nasrian calendar, it is the Sabbath, obviously, and the noontime peace contemplation here on the screen. Our God and Goddess, immanent and transcendent, send to all your angel of peace. To your spiritual kingdom, send the angel of eternal life. Really great day for spending time in the scriptures, and the Holy Megillah is obviously the scriptures that I am going to be spending time later today in, but we are on a little bit of very short pause from the readings because I am trying to get caught up on some other projects that I'm working on. So today I wanted to read a little story from this book, Stories of the Spirit, Stories of the Heart, Parables of the Spiritual Path from Around the World. This is a book that I picked up at a thrift store. I think it was Zephyr Books again, and man, I love it. Edited by Christina Feldman and Jack Cornfield. There is a story of a fellow who dies and finds himself in a shimmering realm. He thinks to himself, I guess I was better than I thought I was. He is approached by a glistening being who ushers him into a regal banquet hall in which an immense table is laid out with unimaginable delicacies. He is seated at the banquet table with many others, and a choice selection of food is served to him. As he picks up his fork, someone approaches from behind and straps a thin board to the back of his arms so that he cannot bend his elbows. Trying to pick up the food, get it to his mouth because he can't use his stiff arms to feed himself. Looking about, he notices that all the other people around the table have their arms bound straight, so they cannot bend them. All are grunting and moaning as they attempt to stuff the food into their mouths, but they cannot reach, and there is great wailing and moaning at their predicament. Going to the being who had shown him to this place, he says, "This must be hell. But then, what is heaven?" The glistening being shows him through the archway into another huge banquet hall, in which there sits another great table, filled with the same array of foods. We can be sure that they are vegan foods of the heavenly nature. Ah, this is more like it, he thinks. And sitting down at the dinner table, he is about to dig in when someone comes and ties a board to the back of his arms. So, once again, he cannot bend his elbows to feed himself. Lamenting that this is the same unworkable situation as hell, he looks about in dismay to notice that, at this table, there is something different occurring. Instead of people trying to force the food into their mouths, straining against the rigidity of their arms, each being is holding his arms out straight to feed the person on either side of him. Each person is feeding the person next to him. I love that. How applicable is it as well, even when we are here in this world, and let's say we do have this big buffet of food, our brothers and sisters are suffering around us, and realistically, when we do have these big amounts of things and we're not sharing, there's emptiness inside of us. So everyone goes without. And yeah, I really love that. People in heaven are feeding each other, and that's how we should be here on earth. So, like I said, I am about to head off and do some hiking with some friends. I wanted to leave you with that little bit of spiritual tidbit of story, whatever you would like to call it. Yeah, I really enjoy these little stories in here. So hopefully you did too. Kyle, how's it going? Kyle says, I hope it's warmer there than it is here. It is about 60 degrees or 62 where I am standing right now, and the high at 3 p.m. is 67. So it's been pretty nice around Mount Shasta in general recently, which I'm very grateful for. Although I don't know how much of this is actually proper weather and how much of this whole reality is weather manipulation and them just like we read in the book of Noah in the Holy Megillah, talking about how they used weather manipulation to flood lands or withhold water or whatever, right? They could do the same thing with snow and withholding snow, and who knows, like, what is the actual cycle of weather supposed to be. But anyways, I hope that some warmth gets sent your way. David D says, God and Goddess, please help guide us. Amen. I'm super excited for whatever seeds are going to be planted today. I actually brought a Holy Megillah copy to leave with my friends if they are interested. I've gotten to talk to them before about it and actually sit down with my female friend and her mom and talk about it. She pointed it to my star and actually said that if I were to, for instance, go to Iran or somewhere over there, that they would embrace me as being part of the Abrahamic faiths, because that is what this symbol means to them. It's a sign of Abraham and Abraham's religion. And so for them, it's a positive thing. It's so interesting how different cultures are so different and can be so polarized over a symbol. And that's by design. Any symbol realistically can be used for good or bad. It's always the intent that matters of the person that is using it. I mean, if you go and get an upside down pentagram or upside down crosses, then maybe we could say that the person's intent in that is not good and that the symbol itself is a perversion of the upright, and then maybe the argument could be made. But as far as this goes, the reason that I'm wearing it is because of that beautiful story in the Holy Megillah, particularly in chapter 16, where Yahshua receives his, but Miriam also receives one too, the star of kindness, and just trying to embrace that myself and be loving and kind. So that is why I wear it. And thankfully you don't mind. Those that mind don't, those that matter don't mind, and those that mind don't matter, except for everyone matters. But we're all just at our own stages in our spiritual journey and our understanding, our awakening, and our own consciousness. And it's kind of like the more enlightened you become, the bigger realm that you can see, the more of the picture that you can see, the more perspective, your understanding and grasp of it. It's interesting. For me, at least, I ascend the golden ladder and more spiritual insight is given to me. I can see other people and also understanding that, like, wow, that like some people where they're at right now, they're just not capable of higher understanding because of, unfortunately, how far they have descended down the ladder. And 9 times out of 10, it's due to eating the flesh of animals, which, frankly, how much of the flesh that people eat is animal and how much might be human, who knows? There might even just be a little bit of human in there, and that's part of the corruption. anyways, understanding the people, that everyone's at their own position, and trying to meet them where they're at is something that I am working on myself. So anyways, I'm going to jump off of here and go enjoy my nice Sabbath stroll through Castle Crags. I think the trail that we're going on is Vista Point Trail. If you want to look it up, there's going to be like spots that we can actually see Mount Shasta in the distance. It's going to be really, really cool. I was looking up how Castle Crags was, what they say, at least in the mainstream, about how it was formed. Is they're called these granite spike. I don't remember what the actual word was, but yeah, just interesting to see how the powers that be explain different features of our world to us. So anyways, I hope that you have a wonderful day. Tomorrow's Sunday, so I will be prepared with a reading from the Holy Megillah, continuing in the next few chapters where Christ, we already read about his first 6 disciples. Now we're going to read about the other 6. Then he is going to start heading off to Ford. He's going to meet up with Miriam. He also meets Peter the Ebionite. So a bunch of really good stuff coming up, and I'm planning on doing a pretty decent chunk tomorrow. So I hope that you will join me at noon, and have a wonderful day. May God and the Goddess bless you.
Shabbat Shalom, Holy way of the Most High. Shabbat Shalom, I sense your presence.